Hey guys, it's Niklas here from upgradeToLife.com, and in this video I want to talk with you about willpower. Now that's a huge topic, and this video specifically is about why you should stop relying on willpower and what you can do to experience your life in a way more carefree way, without forcing yourself to do things, without like saying 1,000 affirmations or like forcing yourself to beliefs, things like that. So definitely stick till the end, because this video will be relieving you if you actually understand how you can stop using willpower to achieve your goals and desires. So before I jump into the content part, definitely make sure that you hit the like button, you subscribe to my channel so that I reach more people and more people also can learn about those fundamental teachings. And also, if you haven't yet, make sure that you check out my free masterclass. It's about 60 minutes long and it includes like very profound and highly valuable information. So make sure you check that out. The link for that is in the description down below. So with that, let's start now. So what is it about willpower, right? I'm sure you've heard this before. I'm sure you've also tried to use willpower to get your things, and you sat down and you said, oh, like I think about it like for a tremendous amount of time right now, or I scripted down, anything like that, right? But what this in most cases does is that it creates a lot of resistance, and then we are like, oh, like, but I need to do it more, Then it kind of gives you a relief, and where you say, oh, okay, I did it, now it must show up. Then you look through the world, you see no changes, and then you ask yourself, oh, like, it's not here yet. I again need to use my willpower to get it done. And that is the formula for failure, actually. That's not the right approach you should take. So the typical mistake people make is forcing themselves to believe things or to do any sort of things, right? That's when they say like, oh, I need to make myself believe. That's the only way I see changes in my reality, or I need to do specific actions and certain actions for me to get X, Y, Z. So this is to some degree true, because you cannot like move forward in life without any actions. But the thing is, what you will learn is that your actions are always coming from your state, the state of consciousness that you're operating from, right? Your state of being. You're acting in a completely different way when you're coming from the state of like abundance and that you're worthy and that you are whole and complete, than you're coming from when you feel needy or lackful. You feel like something is missing, right? Also, typical self-help teachers will tell you have a lot of willpower or use your willpower, how to increase your willpower, right? But what they don't understand, and that's very deep, is that willpower is not the cause of success or things you get on the outside. Willpower is already an effect. And an effect of what? Of your state of consciousness. So willpower is never the cause for you to get things, right? When it is something, then it is an effect of you shifting to the state of now I am like very successful. And then yes, willpower may lead you to some things, but it's not the cause for you to get those things that you want or to achieve certain goals. It's still an effect of your state of consciousness or from your state of consciousness. So do not think that you need to start out with willpower to force things, to like force yourself to make things happen. No, start at the core, which is your state of being, state of consciousness, or also self-concept. And I'm going to explain how you can do that actually right now. So this is how it looks like. Now, I want to explain you this in great detail, because for me, this really changed my life when I understood this, and that will definitely also change yours too when you just stay till the end. So in the middle, we have our state, right? What is a state? A state is just a set of beliefs, a set of like emotions, patterns, like just like a state in general, right? It's that there is no right or wrong explanation for a state. You can also say, instead of state, you can also say self-concept, or the role that you accept as true for yourself, right? Just a state. You can be in a state of lack or in a state of abundance. You can be in a state of love or in a state of fear, right? It's just a different state that you are in. And that is the cause for everything. That's the main thing that we want to focus on and want to change, because based on that, everything else in our life, step by step, will change too, if you believe it or not. But listen to me, okay? So when you go into imagination and you assume that you are now wealthy, that you are now in a relationship with someone new, someone specific, doesn't matter. When you go into imagination and experience that you are now loved and worthy, right? People complimenting you, whatever it is, you shift your state, because in that moment you literally are that person. And when you then come out of your imaginal acts and you keep this assumption up, you still assume it, then you change your state. And that's the main thing we want to do. What happens next? What happens when you change your state? The next thing that will happen is that your thoughts will change. Because when someone is in this state of, for example, being very wealthy, and they just identify themselves as being wealthy, money comes easy to me, it's very easy for me to make more money and things like that, then they have not much thoughts about, oh my God, there is no money. Oh my God, where do I get or from which money do I pay my next paycheck or my next bill from, right? They just know I am wealthy. It's just who they are, right? And that is what we want to change at the core, deep, fundamental level. Then your thoughts change, right? You will start, yeah, of course I'm wealthy. Yeah, of course, money comes easy to me. You will have different thoughts. And that is also why I am not a big fan of mental diet. And I do think that a lot of people, they misunderstand mental diet, and they then force with willpower to flip their thoughts around, and they say, oh no, this person loves me. Oh no, I'm worthy. Oh no, I make a lot of money, without realizing that this just creates resistance and more resistance and more resistance. So stop doing this shit and start at the core. Why not? Why? I mean, you make it more complicated than it actually needs to be. When you just change at the core, everything else is way more easy. So that's why I do not teach mental diet. I know Neville talked about it, but I mean, you do not have to agree with anything or everything that you learn, right? You do not have to agree with everything. Just agree with the things that work for you, that you see results with, and that are actually like bring you the most changes. So what changes after your thoughts change? That is also when your perception on things changes, okay? So because when you're a wealthy person and you go into the market, into the supermarket or wherever you go, and you want to buy things, and you start to actually see things differently based on your state. Instead of an item where you before was oh, this is very expensive, you're like, wait a second, I'm wealthy, I make a lot of money, of course I could buy this. This does not mean that you go around and you buy 10 Rolexes, 10 Lamborghinis after another and you go in debt. This is not what it's about. It's your internal state. This has nothing to do with them actually doing the thing. It's just more like a state that you embody. And you can see in which state you are when you just look at how you perceive the world and how you react to things. Neville all the time said that your reactions are actually the best indicator to show you in which state you are. So when you're wealthy, you cannot have a negative reaction when you get a big bill, for example. You just be like, okay, yeah, of course, I just fix that and money will come in again, or stuff like that. But when you're very anxious and fearful and you go into your mailbox in the front of your house, you walk to your mailbox very anxious, and you ask yourself, oh, what bill will be there next? And you're this fearful person, and then you're obviously not in the right state. And the same goes for relationships, health, actually all life areas, okay? So then the next thing that will change is are your decisions. Because when you are in another state, you take different opportunities and different decisions that you're going to take based on who you conceive yourself to be, right? Do you get the point? It's actually very logical until this point, because when you are wealthy, for example, I always take this example, then you take different decisions as you would take if you felt broke or needy or not worthy enough, right? Now, what changes next? The next thing that will change is your actions, okay? Thoughts, perception and reactions, decisions, and then your actions will as well also change too. You will do different things just based on a state. And many people get tripped up on this, and that's the core issue, right? They try to start out here. So people try to change their actions first. They say, oh, I'm going on a diet now, I'm doing this, and that. But their state is still being an overweight person or a skinny person, right? Same with relationships, same with money. Again, it relates to everything in your life. This is not just for one desire, this is for your whole life. So yeah, based on your state, your actions are either this or either that. And then last but not least, obviously also of course, based on your state, you will experience different like results and different manifestations in your external world, whether you lifted a finger or not. This is irrelevant, because sometimes things happen and you will just be moved through this bridge of incidents, but sometimes things just happen without you actually doing anything, right? When you get like this message, or you get a new client, or a new business opportunity that you see online, whatever it is, right? But you actually lifted a finger, because we always do some things, right? We lift we turn our head, then we see this, and then we could see this opportunity, right? So do not get hang up on actions and should I do this, should I do that. Focus on your state. That's why every like deep love assumption or deep Neville Goddard, deep personal development teacher will tell you to not focus on actions, decisions, perceptions, and thoughts so much in the beginning. Focus on your state, who you are, right? This deeper shift, because with that, everything step by step will change too. So what we can see perfectly in this illustration is that first of all, your internal world changes, right? So everything until this point, everything until your decisions is actually internally, right? Actions are external, but your state of consciousness, your thoughts and your perception, that's all just internal. No one can really see how you perceive other things, okay? That's your inner world. So you see, this comes first, not the external. You do not try to make other decisions or force yourself, oh, should I do this decision or that? Right? That's something many people ask themselves, oh, like, should I do this or should I do that? You do not actually have an influence on that, because you will always take the decision based on your state, based on your self-concept, okay? And then we see that the decisions, actions, results, manifestations, that's all in the external world, so to say, right? And we see that as within, so without. First you change within, then it can take some quote-unquote time, and then you see changes. But many people, they are like they do something and then they instantly look without. What has changed yet? What has changed yet? Is my desire here yet? Am I moving closer to my goal? But they don't see things, first of all, from the bigger perspective, and they don't realize that it is about your internal state, period. That's the main message of this video. Right? When you want to change your life, when you want to approach your life more carefree, then you should not struggle and battle against the outside, but you should change your within. And for some of you, this may sound silly or may sound, oh no, that's not true, but it is true. Just test it and just observe yourself, and you will see that this is very, very true. Now, let's look at what Neville said about this, or some quotes of him that are good about this topic. So he said that the great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. Which means that, and that's actually his main advice to achieve success in all of your life areas. Again, whether this is in your relationships with someone new, or in general, or with someone specific, or in your job, in your business, in your career path, in your health, right? When you are able to keep your attention on this desired state until it becomes natural, right? Without permitting distractions, so without letting any outside world kind of distractions move you from this path, then you know the secret to success, right? Is keeping this state alive, unpolluted. Also, he said that you do not fight against your problem. Your problem will only live as long you are conscious of it. Take your attention away from your problem and the multitude of reasons why you cannot achieve your ideal. Concentrate your attention entirely upon the thing desired. Because when you do that, you change your state. That is what so many people don't realize. They operate the law of assumption and just manifesting in general and just life in general with the surface level of understandings and with the surface level of approaching it. Right? But when they would just know this, that when they change their state and assume something different to be true for themselves, then their whole life would change step by step without they need to worry about what should I do next, because it's all coming from this state, okay? So that's my take on willpower. And again, willpower is not the cause of you achieving goals, of you manifesting desires. When you try things or approach things with brute willpower, then it can lead to resistance. I'm not saying that willpower is all the time bad, and you will never have any like phases or periods where you do not have certain degrees of willpower, because when you're in business, for example, then you have this kind of willpower, but you do not force yourself to do something. Is you have the state of being like a successful business owner, and then because of that, you're just moved to do certain things. That's actually how it goes, right? So that's it in short on this topic. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, if you want to see if we are a good fit to work together, if you are interested in coaching, then you can also click the link in the description, the second link next to the masterclass, and you can schedule a free 45-minute consultation with me personally, where we are going to find out if we are a good fit, where we are going to diagnose your current situation, and where we are going to map out an action plan specifically for your situation right now. So that's it from me. Thanks again for watching very much. Just leave me a comment on how you like that, and if you like this kind of videos with the presentations, if you have ideas for next video ideas, and I will talk to you in the next video. See you guys.